This is Jenna Burt, host of the Confessions of a Military Spouse podcast. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
It's No Poker Friday on Public House Media, and I look a tiny bit crazy, but that's okay. I mean, it could be worse in 2020, I feel like. Anyway, I'm not sick anymore. I just look like I am, and you know what? I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. David, Bobke, if you're around, let me know if this sounds okay, because I am having major mic issues. That's enough, a few birds. Enough. Nobody wants this birdie business anymore. It's gonna get hot in here, but whatever. Less birds. Less birds, the better. Everybody has something to say this morning. Anyway, somebody sent me some things on this whole Egypt #metoo situation. We're gonna get to that. But before we do, last week we talked about a little bit about this Cuties thing on Netflix, and now this week it's exploded. Like, it was getting some traction last week, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, you know, people are actually seeing this, and they've been like, you know what, it's not right. We shouldn't be subjecting children to this kind of subject matter or this kind of work, because that's what all those, you know, little actresses were working on. Like, that was work for them. They got up and they did their school time, and granted that was a foreign production. I'm not just sure how their, you know, school time to production ratio works, but still. When they were on set, they were doing the work that they were performing, I use that term loosely, on screen. So that's kind of an issue, and people have taken an issue with it, and they're like, Netflix, this isn't cool. So then Netflix issued this super whack apology, and they're like, no, we're not taking it down. Everybody was like, but this is kiddie porn adjacent. Why wouldn't you take it down? This is crazy. So word on the street is that Netflix is basically internally combusting over this and another movie, which I think is pretty exciting. And I've always told you this. Ted Sarandos keeps strange company. He always has, and he always will. But we'll see if Netflix can weather the storm, because I'm betting that they can't. Sound is good. Hi, David, Bobke. Who else is coming in? Because I can kind of see pictures and see who's coming in, but I'm not really totally sure. So leave me a comment so I know it's you. Otherwise, it's no fun to do this show live. Honestly, it's not. I was thinking about pre-recording this show yesterday, but I'm so glad that I didn't, because this thing in Egypt just kind of popped up overnight. How long ago was it? David, maybe you remember. It was probably 2 to 3 months ago now. We talked about how metoo movements were popping up across the world, and one of them was Egypt. And then I want to say around 4th of July, we touched on it again, where there was a gang rape case in Cairo at the Fairmont Hotel, and then there was an Instagram account that popped up called @Sexual Assault Police, and they actually managed to get this gang rape case that had lots of evidence. There's a video pushed through the court system, and these people, some of these guys got, I think 6 of the guys got arrested out of the 9, and then I guess a couple of their acquaintances, I suppose. And that was yay, oh my God, look at this. Egypt is actually prosecuting sexual assault. I shouldn't even say that's sexual assault, because sexual assault is something different. Gang rape, they're actually, prosecuting gang rape cases. That's massive for Egypt. So huge. It'd be huge for any Muslim country. Well, as of hours ago, basically, the Egyptian government has arrested 4 of the witnesses to this case. It's 3 girls and a guy that have gotten arrested on debauchery charges, which is super vague, anti-morality charges. They're just witnesses to the case. They were just testifying on the behalf of the victim. And I shouldn't say on behalf of the victim. They were just telling what they saw, heard, etc. And now they've been arrested, and the whole case is on August 20th for the Egypt story. Okay, so that was just a couple weeks ago. And now they're arrested, so they can't actually talk. And they're having to deal with their own cases, which is absolutely asinine. But as it turns out, but we all knew this before me even saying it, the guys that were involved in this gang rape of this girl all have like super high power businessmen for fathers. Isn't it so funny how high power businessmen fathers like just crank out rapist sons like just at an alarming rate? It's amazing to me how quickly they can do business and churn out rapist sons. Such multitasking. I mean, we should all really be in awe. So as of now, not only has that case like basically been brought to a screeching halt, now everybody's in trouble. And I guess they use these debauchery laws in Egypt to kind of persecute the LGBTQ plus community, which one of the male witnesses is. And I guess they arrested them on debauchery charges and then went through their phones looking for drug use or like anything like homosexually related. And I guess some of these witnesses or people who were parties to cases were, I guess, physically examined for sexual activity, if you can believe it, which is also super gross and unhelpful. Like, what does that do for anyone? Unless it's a rape kit, I don't see the point or the jurisdiction. Like, it's very strange. It's a very, very, very strange situation. But that Instagram account that was put into play for this case to like get it going, Sexual Assault Police, has since been like taken down. I guess they were getting a bunch of death threats and like, of course, all of the crazy that comes with, you know, having a sexual assault case in Egypt, I suppose. And they've popped up another one that's like specific to Cairo. So we'll see if that gets taken down or not, and hopefully these people can like actually seek justice. But even though this is a major, I don't want to say miscarrying of justice, it's just absolutely suppressing justice in every way, shape, or form. But even though this case is hitting some lows, that doesn't mean that we need to just give up or stop. You just have to keep fighting even further. And you know what? If they can crack these idiots, if they can crack these 9 morons that actually committed this crime in a video and then wrote their initials on this girl's back, which to me seems like plenty of evidence. I don't know why you need any more. If they can get traction with this, then other people will get traction with their cases. And that's the point of the whole thing, is that we turn the world around in the way that we think and prosecute and handle sex crimes, because it's not correct the way that we have been going about this for millennia, basically. We have to get better, and we are getting better. We're pushing things through. Speaking of which, another triumph in the way of like the court of public opinion. I don't know if you saw this or not. I posted about it just a little bit in comparison to other things, but there was a hashtag called Justice for Sophie, and it was about this little girl who was getting sexually abused by her mom's boyfriend, I guess, and her father was trying to get her out of the situation. And via GoFundMe and the hashtag and Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, like everybody on social media saying, just crawling into the gluteal crevices of the local law enforcement in their area. They were managed to remove that little girl from her mom's custody, and now she's with her dad, and she's not getting sexually abused anymore. So these things work. Your thumb power works, your outrage works, and it works in the United States, and it works in Egypt, and it works in every other country in the world. You just have to keep the pressure on. So if you see something terrible, keep going. Keep picking at it. If it's got to pick at Ted Sarandos, pick at Ted Sarandos. If you got to pick at some senator, pick at some senator. If you got to pick at local law enforcement, do that too. Or a judge, doesn't matter who it is. Let them know that you're outraged, and you're not going to let them slide by without doing their job. That's the whole point, is when eyeballs get on things and they're like, oh man, I can't slack off today. That's when things change. So I will see you all next week. Hopefully some good things will happen in this Egypt case, and we can push that through, because it will really change the landscape for, every single sex crime survivor, or the people who don't survive sex crimes, that if they lose their life to it. So I will see you all next week. Check out other shows on Public House Media that are way more light and fun than this one, like Disarming Disability or Choose to Rise, fun shows like that. And I'll see you all next week. Bye 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 bye.